Hello, and welcome back to our 10-part series on the seminal book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is the 6th video in our series. Today, we're delving into part 3, a crucial section that teaches us the art of winning people over to our way of thinking. We'll be navigating the insightful terrain of chapters 7, 8, and 9, each packed with valuable principles that can transform our interactions and relationships. Dive in with us as we explore the insightful principles from the next 3 chapters. Chapter 7, titled A Secret of Socrates, is all about the importance of asking questions. Now you may wonder, what does Socrates have to do with winning people over? Well, my dear listeners, it's all in the art of questioning. Socrates, the classical Greek philosopher, was a master of the question game. His technique, known as the Socratic method, is a form of dialogue where one asks and answers questions to stimulate critical thinking and to illuminate ideas. It's not about telling people what to think, but guiding them to think for themselves. Now let's apply this to the realm of influence. Imagine you're trying to convince someone of your idea. If you simply state your opinion, they might become defensive. But if you ask questions that lead them to your conclusion, they're more likely to agree. Why? Because they feel like they've reached the conclusion on their own. Let's take an example. Suppose you're trying to convince your team to implement a new strategy. Instead of saying, "We should use this strategy because," try asking, "What if we tried this strategy? What could be the potential benefits?" This way, you're not dictating but instigating a conversation. It's like a dance, really. You're leading, but it doesn't feel like you're dragging your partner across the floor. Instead, you're guiding them gently, allowing them to move at their own pace, in their own time. And before they know it, they're waltzing right where you want them to be, all the while believing they chose the steps. The power of the Socratic method lies in its ability to make people feel heard, respected, and valued. It's about creating a shared understanding, not enforcing your own. So, the next time you're in a discussion, try asking more questions. Encourage others to share their thoughts and watch as they become more open to your ideas. Remember, the key principle here is to get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. So be like Socrates. Ask, listen, and lead with grace and subtlety. Moving on to chapter 8, the safety valve in handling complaints. This chapter brings us face to face with an aspect of human interaction that many of us struggle with, handling complaints. But don't worry, we're not left to fend for ourselves. The chapter provides us with a safety valve strategy that can be incredibly effective once mastered. This strategy is based on a simple yet powerful principle. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Yes, you heard that right. It's not about you delivering a monologue of solutions or defense. It's about opening the floor for them, allowing them to air out their grievances, their concerns, their ideas. It's about giving them the space to vent, to express, and to be heard. You see, when people are upset or dissatisfied, what they need more than anything is an outlet, a listening ear, a receptive mind. They need to feel that their voice matters, that their feelings are acknowledged. And this is where the magic happens. When you allow them to talk, you're not just giving them a platform, you're also gaining valuable insights into their perspective. You're understanding the root cause of their complaint, their expectations, and their needs. Now, this doesn't mean you sit back and remain completely passive. Engage in active listening, show empathy, ask probing questions, encourage them to elaborate, clarify, and even suggest solutions. This will not only validate their feelings, but also empower them. And guess what? This process can turn a complaint into a constructive conversation, a disagreement into an opportunity for improvement. Remember, it's not about winning an argument, it's about winning the person. It's about cultivating a relationship where both parties feel valued and respected. And this is possible when we embrace the power of letting the other person do a great deal of the talking. The principle to take away from this chapter is to let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Now, let's delve into chapter 9, which is all about how to get cooperation. This chapter is like the secret sauce recipe to getting people on board with your ideas without making them feel like they're being tricked or manipulated. It's a delicate dance, but once you master it, you'll see a world of possibilities opening up. Our journey begins by understanding that people are primarily motivated by their own wants and needs. Sounds simple, right? But it's not about what you want. It's about what they want. This means you'll have to take the time to understand the other person's perspective, their needs, their desires. Remember, it's not about convincing, but about connecting. Next, when presenting your ideas, it's crucial to frame them in a way that appeals to these wants and needs. This doesn't mean you should twist your ideas to fit their desires, but rather present them in a light that highlights how they align with what they already want. Think of it as a win-win situation. You get what you want, and they get what they want. Now, while doing all of this, it's essential to maintain a genuine respect for the other person. You're not manipulating them, but rather, you're working together towards a common goal. This respect will shine through in your interactions and make the other person more willing to cooperate. And finally, remember the power of positivity. If you can make the other person feel good about the action you're suggesting, they'll be more likely to go along with it. This could mean praising their past actions, complimenting their skills, or simply expressing your belief in their abilities. By following these principles, you can create an environment where people are eager to cooperate, where they're happy to change their minds or behaviors because they see how it aligns with their own wants and needs. In essence, the principle from this chapter is to make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. It's not about coercion, but about collaboration, and it's a powerful tool in winning friends and influencing people. That concludes our exploration of chapters 7, 8, and 9, from How to Win Friends and Influence People. In this journey, we've unearthed some timeless truths about human interaction and persuasion. From chapter 7, we learned the secret of Socrates. This principle encourages us to engage in conversations by asking questions rather than dictating opinions. It's a subtle art of making others feel heard and valued, nudging them towards our way of thinking without it feeling forceful. Chapter 8 introduced us to the safety valve in handling complaints. The key takeaway here is to listen patiently when others vent their frustrations. Let them blow off steam. It's an approach that fosters empathy and understanding, thereby diffusing tension and laying the groundwork for constructive dialogue. Finally, in Chapter 9, we discovered how to get cooperation. This principle emphasizes the power of explaining the reasons behind our requests or decisions. When people understand the why, they're more likely to cooperate. These principles aren't just strategies, they're a shift in perspective that can transform our interpersonal relationships. They remind us that winning friends and influencing people is less about manipulation and more about genuine connection and understanding. So as we wrap up this video, let's commit to putting these principles into practice. Remember to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel to continue learning versatile skills. Until next time, keep winning friends and influencing people.